All right. So, folks, we're talking, it keeps popping up Smith Island. Right, another pedophile island out here connected in Indiana to Georgia to numerous places, right? The Watson fame, all these, the Scheidlers, or whatever their names are. We got a couple of them people around here. And I'm wondering if that's the people they're talking about, right? Which I think it probably is, right? I forget the one guy's name. I don't know. I quit taking my medication, so I don't know. When I first started taking my medication, I didn't even remember people I knew that were around me. Till I started getting fixed or whatever from the doctor. But this is a serious problem, folks. There's not only Epstein Island. There's many of these islands in America thriving. So is it true? It very well might be, right? They're saying he's a drug dealer, and that makes sense. Why would Trump say, we're not going to let you sell our drug or sell drugs in our country no more? I think they're hip to these dudes. Uh, I think they're bikers or something, or nut jobs, if you ask me. I think their whole family is supposedly. It's like a giant ring, a Manson family or something. And it makes me think. It's too much of a coincidence, folks, that this name, the last name Smiths, Watson, and these other Hubbard, whatever these trolls that are attacking people on the internet, uh, in this town, the spikers, they're all connected to drugs, prostitution, and all kinds of stuff, that fentanyl shit. So it could be them. That's what these people are talking about. And Trump's talking about it, and the Smith, a very vicious person, it might be them. Now, everyone says I'm scared. I'm not scared, folks. I'm not running nowhere. Just because I go into someone's chat doesn't mean I'm scared. I'm not going nowhere, folks. I'm staying right here, reporting it as it comes. Right? These are ongoing cases in this town, in the next small town, Angola, which was connected to Fort Wayne, which was connected down into the south of Indianapolis, Delphi, which was connected down through. So these people saying that it's a trail that leads to Georgia or whatever, the devil went down to Georgia. Well, good. Stay down there. We don't want you up here up north. We got no place for the devil. And that fentanyl shit, we don't want it. Take your crack and your cocaine and your heroin and your gangs and everything and go down south. We don't want it up here, folks. So is it true? Hello, Debbie. How you doing? How you doing? You doing all right? I hope you are. So do I believe it? Yep. Yep. And like I said, these people are known in town. It's a very known name. I've probably met the people before, but that don't mean I am associated with them, right? It's a small little town. You meet people, especially if you play guitar or used to play guitar or whatever on YouTube or whatever. People, you know, you get to know people, but you don't know the real people, right, behind closed doors of what they're really like or what they do in their private life. So therefore, I'm pretty much believing that it's true, and I do believe they've been attacking my family, and I do believe it's corrupt. And yes, folks, there is proof now that the police in Indiana are being questioned and watched for corruption. All departments, state, even little town police department. I guess it's just a big giant ring. I guess they brought in the militia in case people attack the police because they're that corrupt. People are just sick of it. Hell, they're poisoning people. I think it was on the news out here at Walmart, cops that were coming through, right? So people are sick of the authority. And I don't blame them, right? It don't make it right what's happening, but that's what happens when you have a country going crazy. And everyone's like Smith Island. I keep hearing Smith Island. I know it's a little place in town, but that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about a man. Uh, and like I said, folks, there's been other people out there that said Epstein Island is not the only thing that's going on. There's other islands ran by other people, right? You got Epstein Island. Now people are saying Smith Island. You got all these traffickers of children, drugs, and bad things. Most of these women are pushed into prostitution and other things, and it's sad. It really is. But keep a lookout for him. His face is plastered all over. I mean, they plastered his face all over the place, right? He's them people have faces put on telephone poles out here and stuff. Wanted trafficking children, drugs, and Satanism and all kinds of stuff. Now they're talking about it on the internet. So do I believe it? Yes. Is it in Indiana? Yes. Is it a tracking all the way down into the south? And yeah, yeah. You might as well call it the Chinese Smith connection, right? The whatever you want to call it. But it's no coincidence that all these people are popping up with that name in these murder cases and drug cases. And it makes total sense to me and some other people too. Uh, are they evil? Yes. Are they trespassing on people? Yes. Magic, whatever. Yeah. Old man Watson, there's a rumor about him going around here, right? Some idiot or something. And I know they're pissed at some guy around here, Smith or something, that started some war or something, or sold somebody fentanyl or something. They OD'd or died or something. Some pain pill. I'm not sure. I've been out of the clique for a long time. I don't do anything but go cut grass and come home. So because the world is crazy and you don't know who you're really hanging out with, uh, you could be sitting at a bar having a beer with somebody and they could be a wanted killer. You just don't know. It's almost hypnotizing how they walk right into a crowd of people and no one recognizes them, right? Nobody recognizes these people. It's crazy, if you ask me. But I think that's what it is. I think that's what they're talking about. And I don't think it's some little island where everyone's drinking margaritas and got their toes in the sand. It's some dude, some crime family, a bunch of them together. And yeah, they abuse kids and traffic kids, supposedly, from what they're saying, sell drugs and all kinds of stuff. It makes perfect sense to me, folks. And that's all I want to say is be safe, folks. This whole pedo Smith Island crap and Epstein Island and Shagler Island and all these islands popping up of these terrorist groups or whatever. And just because they're in the U.S. don't mean they're good, folks. Right? I've heard people say, "Oh no, don't mess with them. They're our guy. They're terrorists." Well, I know, but they're home. They're our home terrorists. They're U.S. people. Yeah, but they're a terrorist cell. I know, but they're our people. Yeah, they confess on themselves. They confess on themselves. So I believe it. Stay safe. And this is why I locked myself away from the world. It's just too dangerous. Everyone's out to scam you or blackmail you or whatever. So be safe, folks. We'll get to the bottom of this Smith Island and gang or biker club or whatever they're talking about. Whoever it is, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. We'll find out, though. A lot of people are saying it's some guy Tim, so it might be some guy named Tim Smith. I don't know. which is in the Summer Wells case, but I'm not sure if that's the guy they're talking about or some guy. Everyone keeps talking about some dude out here in Indiana, so it might be some guy Smith or something. Or I'm not sure. Just be safe, folks. And they're all connected. And I think there's even a place out here called Hubbard Inn or something, where it's a retirement home where a bunch of people were living, and a bunch of them died. And I think they're suing the place. Right? So we're finding out that these people are real. It ain't no island where you're sucking back drinks and sticking your toes in the sand and everyone's having a good time. These are dudes they're talking about. All in code, which now the code has been broken. And yeah, we're on the lookout for anyone with Smith's name, I guess. Hubbard, Watson, Boyers, Weavers. And they're looking for the Weavers because of the Delphi case. The guy came out and said the girls were found in the river, and came out with a bunch of lies. And it was all lies. The girls weren't found in the river. And some guy, Weaver or whatever, spread a lie or whatever, which is connected to the Watsons. They're family members, I guess, or something. I don't know. Plus, these guys are going around faking like they're people's, like they're FBI and CIA. And they're impersonating family members of people and scamming money out of people, too. Selling Social Security numbers and all kinds of shit right here in Indiana, man, from what all these people are saying. And do I believe them? Yeah. Yeah, I believe them. Probably I'm staying out of it. It has nothing to do with me. I'm just a reporter. I'm just a LaGrange reporter, LaGrange, Indiana reporter. Some people said they set up shop right here in this little apartment complex. Well, they might have. The way things have been going around here, that would explain how they're getting in here. So it's out of my hands. I wash my hands of it. Now we got to call the police departments and file reports. So just in case any of these idiots come knocking on our doors, the police know already that we file complaints. I don't know. Maybe. But they're all connected. They all came out of one man's head. They pretty much know where that man is. And it looks like, folks, they all got caught stealing when they should have been hiding. So you folks have a great night. Do I believe what these people are saying and people dying from this fentanyl shit that these guys are selling and pushing? Yeah. You don't even have to be around it. Or you don't even have to take it. You just go around it and you could die. They just found a whole warehouse out in Fort Wayne, a storage unit filled 5-gallon bucketfuls of that shit. And it makes sense because people were dropping like flies in Fort Wayne, Indiana, for no reason at all. Just they'd be walking, and the next thing you know, they'd walk past somebody and just drop on the ground and die. People are like, it's fentanyl poisoning. I would believe it, especially after that bust down there in Fort Wayne. The whole storage unit filled with 5-gallon buckets full of it. I would imagine that's how people were dying. If it was fentanyl and not anthrax. Right? That's what stumped them. They weren't sure if it was fentanyl or anthrax. So, I am taking a break from my movie for a while and my documentary. And, yeah, the world's going crazy, folks. There ain't nothing anyone can do about it. Hold on tight. Strap yourselves in. That's about it. This whole Smith Island, Epstein Island, and all the rest of these islands, you got to get rid of them. right? You can't have this in America. This is a stain on America. This is just politically, morally, mentally, religiously, the biggest stain that this country has ever seen. The biggest stain that we now are affiliated with Epstein Island and these other Smith Islands and all these other islands popping up is unbelievable. It's a stain on this country, folks. But that's the way they've been running it since 1776. So these people don't see any problem with it. Hello, Kiki Man. Now, I want to say thank you to Debbie and Kiki Man for watching and being here. And I want you ladies to be safe. And I think that's what it is, folks. The government's trying to use their head and they're talking code. And this ain't an island where you go and party and have a good time. This is this Smith thing keeps popping up all over, even in this small little town. So I would imagine that's probably what it is. Affiliated with music, drugs, and all that. That's what it sounds like. Mr. Trump's telling them he can't sell his drugs here in America if he keeps doing what he's doing. Which right there was phenomenal. You know, that itself was phenomenal when Mr. Trump got on TV and said to the world, right? He was talking to some guy. We will not allow you to sell your drugs no more in this country if you don't do this, or what? Who is this dude? What do they do? Is it that big of a cartel where the government's trying to cut deals to save America? I don't know. Kind of shocking, if you ask me. Do you folks out there in YouTube land, Kiki and Debbie, do you think there's more of these places in America, like Epstein Island or whatever it is? Do you think Epstein Island was the only place where they've been targeting these kids? They're saying this dude Smith is the devil. I don't know. He might be. You're going to have to decapitate him to find out. Right? That's the only thing I can think of. And Mr. Trump, government, don't be cutting deals with these people. Right? I don't know why. I can't believe it. But I got a headache, so I'm going to take an aspirin, drink some water, and relax. And I think I'm done for the night. And I got to cut a yard tomorrow. It's supposed to be hot tomorrow. Debbie says yes. Oh, yes, a lot more places. Yeah, I believe it, Deb. I believe it. I definitely believe it. I know one thing. They were looking for a couple women that were out here that were biker women. Now, I have nothing against bikers. My family, I rode motorcycles my whole life. My uncle rode a Harley, right? I don't have nothing against bikers. But I guess some women out here that were tainted were doing bad things, got people sick and all this and that. People got pissed off. And that's probably where Mr. Trump is talking about how America, how these people are using women and diseases and stuff to weaponize, to kill you, right? You don't know you're going to die 30 years later, 40 years later, right? So maybe there's something to all this stuff, right? I see they did charge Trump again. Right, here we are, citizens stuck in the middle of all this. Unreal. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. I'm going to go. I feel like my soul has been stolen again. Or I was bit by a vampire. I do think we have a vampire living at the complex. I really do. And I don't know who's out in the parking lot, but for the past month or 2 months or whatever, there's been a vehicle parked out there with Texas plates. Just popped up out of nowhere, right? And then there's rules here. You got to have state plates. And I don't know, maybe they changed the rules. I don't know. It's none of my business. I don't care. I don't own the place no more. I never did. I was just using it for a movie. Now, you folks have a great night. Be safe. Stay hydrated. I got a killer headache now. I'm going to take some aspirin. Relax. Thank everyone for watching. And God bless. Kiki, man, hope your husband's doing good. Hope everyone's doing good. And it's getting so much, this world ain't worth living for anymore. Too much stress on American citizens. Too many scams going on. And I can see how people end up offing themselves. It's sad, but that's how it happens. You folks have a great night. Be safe.